This is a review of the Asus G15 Advanced Edition. What I'm going to look at here specifically is fan noise. I want to minimize fan noise. That's my goal, and I'm interested in seeing how well this laptop does that. To that end, I've taken the most simple route that I can and set the fan profile to silent mode. So the question is, how silent is that? Sadly, not very. Let's look at a dB meter. So 46 dB is nothing like silent. So that's definitely a poor label to give to this particular fan profile. It's also interesting to see that the laptop's advertised noise level, at least in Armory Crate, doesn't match that value at all. 36 dB. Well, that's clearly a lie. So we have a hard and fast value, 46 dB, but what does it actually sound like? Unfortunately, there's a kind of a high-pitched whine to the sound of the fans, which I think makes it more aversive than just the dB alone would suggest. Let's take a listen. And just to show you, here's what the frames per second is in this mode. Definitely, I've heard less aversive fan noise from other laptops. Now, this is silent mode. Sometimes you want a little bit more oomph. So let's switch to performance mode and see how that sounds and how that changes the dB. So we're back after a delay, and we've been running in performance mode for a while. Let's see what the noise level is now. Definitely it's louder. Now, are we getting more performance? I expect we are. Let's see. Yes, almost half again faster. So that's something. However, I wish that the options weren't loud and even louder. Of course, there's also turbo mode, which is even louder than that. What I really would like is a actual silent mode where the fans basically never turn on. Admittedly, this wouldn't be much good for most games, but it certainly would be a reasonable option for very undemanding games and for mousing around on the desktop. Now, to Asus's credit, they do give you a manual option. And in the manual option, you have controls over power limits and also fan curves. I think that's great. However, it turns out that these settings are really more designed for people who want to max everything out. And so it's a little hard to figure out retroactively how to get from the place where you would get if you were using the silent profile and then decrease fan speed and power limits until you get an actual quieter machine. I think it's probably possible, but I just haven't experimented enough to be able to do it. In any case, I appreciate that Asus puts this kind of configurability into their laptops, and I wish that other manufacturers like Lenovo would do the same. However, practically speaking, it hasn't really been a real help to me that this is an option here. In fact, I find that as I mess around with the custom curves, I tend to produce more noise than in the silent profile. Oh well.